morning, my fabulous 173. Welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be testing out some eco-friendly kitchen products, and I think, I'm going to start with the reusable paper towels, and I'm going to use one of these or maybe two, to clean off the kitchen island. So, and then later in the video, we're gonna make cookies because, well, I was gonna start with the cookies, but I need to wash these. So I need to wash the mats. So, because this counter is gross. So, and it's also, like I said, the counter's not exactly clean. So we're gonna try to use the towels to clean up the counter. And then I'm gonna cut off the camera and wash the mats and things. And we're also gonna test out some beeswax paper along with some silicone bowl lids and ziplock bags. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the camera off, get these paper towels opened, wet them, and spray some cleaner on here and see what they can do. Okay, so I think it did a pretty good job, though the one thing I will say is that once wet, they kind of remind me of the texture of the paper towels that you might find in places where they're working on cars and stuff, which doesn't really bother me. I'm just stating a fact about my experience with these. So, but the counter is clean and the towel does not seem to have been damaged or ripped or anything in any way. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean off the stove. Of course, I'm gonna rinse it out before I use it again. But that's all I have to say about the reusable paper towels. Okay, I'm back. So I finished cleaning the stove with the reusable paper towel, the stovetop, and I just have one more thing to add before we move on to our next thing, which is bowl lids and maybe these ziplock bags. We're gonna do that while we preheat the oven for the cookies. So just a couple things. So after I finished the stove, I did notice a small hole starting to form in the paper towel. But I don't think that's the paper towel's fault. I think that the paper towel just wasn't made for heavy-duty cleaning. So that's one thing to note. And but I will say that they do seem to be quite a bit stronger than regular paper towels, because had I done that with a regular paper towel, I can almost 100% guarantee you that by the time I cleaned two things with it, it would basically disintegrate or tear or something significantly. So, and now moving on to the baking mats here. So there are two sides. One side has measurements, like a ruler, and the other side it has these little circles on it for making cookies and showing you how big to make your cookies and how far to space them out. And I haven't even put these in the oven yet, but one thing I have noticed is if you have a pan with a sort of lip on the edges, rather than just a plain cookie sheet, they are harder to remove from the pan. So I've got one over there on a pan to make these cookies, and then this one over here to show you the two different sides. And the set also came with a mat for a 9-inch pizza, but I don't know if I'll be using this for pizza, but it would work well for a round pan, as long as it is not smaller than 9 inches. Anyway, I'm gonna go get the oven started on preheating, and then I'll be back to test out the silicone bowl lids. Right, so I've got the oven preheating to 350 degrees, and while we're waiting on the oven so that I can test out these silicone mats, I'm going to be trying out these lids. Now they come in several different sizes, but these two are the ones that I think will fit this bowl right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to put one of these on here. So, and I think that one's the wrong size. So we're gonna try this one and just see if it will fit over it. Yeah, I'm really trying. And on there, it's a little lopsided, but it's kind of on there. There are little gaps in between there, so this lid might be slightly too large, but you are able to put it on the bowl. So there's that, and they have these convenient little tabs to pull them off of the bowl. And there you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that lovely demonstration. And yeah, now I'm gonna go unwrap one of these beeswax paper things and try to find something to wrap, so that I can show you how this functions. And I also am curious if beeswax wrap is easier to stick to things than plastic wrap. So I might get that out to compare. Okay, I'm back. So I'm gonna be testing out the beeswax wrap, and I decided not to get out the plastic wrap to compare because I've tried to use plastic wrap enough times that I will know. So right off the bat, I notice that while it is a little tacky, the beeswax paper does not stick to itself where plastic wrap would. So I'm just gonna try to stick it over this bowl, and maybe I need to use the other side. Yeah, this is not sticking to the pole either. Though I have seen in other photos where people have used beeswax wrap and tied it with string to keep it on with a jar of some sort. And I've also never used this, so I have no idea if it could be user error or, oh wait, never mind. Yeah, it was completely user error, because now it kind of seems to be working. It is fitting around the bowl. and there's that. Now, I will say pros, there's no blade slicer thing to snag on it when using this, which is a huge frustration whenever I try to use plastic wrap. And it's actually sort of sticking to the bowl, whereas the other kind of doesn't. It just sort of, or at least I've never figured out how to make it do that. So I definitely like this better. And I'm gonna go check on the oven, and then later we can maybe put some cookies or something in this and just see how it holds stuff. I'm gonna go put this away and I'll be back later. Okay, so I'm gonna go, the oven is preheated, so I'm gonna go ahead and open these and start putting the cookies on the silicone sheet. I'm not sure if these are non-stick, but we are about to find out by just spraying one side of the pan, and then I will not spray the other side. And we'll find out if they're non-stick or not by comparing the two. So there's that. And I also know there's a lot of non-stick things that claim to be, there's a lot of things that claim to be non-stick but actually are not. So that is why we are testing this, to see. And that. And there we go. And now I'm gonna look on the back of the package to see how long to make these. So 16 to 19 minutes. So I'm actually gonna go half that and go down a little bit because these have already started, or have already been in the fridge, and I've softened the dough so that it takes less time. And also all ovens are, some ovens are different than what the oven that was used when they were figuring out what to put in these instructions. So I'm gonna half the time just so that I don't burn them. Okay, so the cookies ended up turning into a thin cookie cake. So instead of trying to cut that up and trying to stick it in this bag, what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna put some clementine slices in here, but before I do that, I'm gonna rinse this out and also test a few of the features that it said that this can do. So one of the things I noticed that it said on the sheet was that these do not leak if you put liquid in them. So we're gonna head over to the sink and try and test and see if that is a false claim or not. So not that I will ever actually do that unless I'm making ice cream in a bag or something like that. But we're gonna test that anyway because fun. And also, I feel like these need to be rinsed out. So we're gonna rinse it out and also see if it'll not leak. So I'm just gonna tilt the camera down just a smidgen so you can see. And we'll move that cup out of the way. And here goes. We're gonna rinse this out, but also see if it doesn't leak. Okay, here goes. seal it up like so. And we're doing this over the sink just in case it lied to us. Now there are water driplets on the side, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off so that we can actually see if it can do this or not. So I'm just gonna make sure it's completely sealed, and it looks like we don't have any drippage. So it does seem like these bags would be perfect for making ice cream in a bag. So that's a pro. And obviously, I'm sure if you messed around with it a bunch, it would probably open at some point, but that's with, I have never had a Ziploc bag that doesn't do that. So, but yeah, if you're just shaking it, moving it around like you should be doing, if that's what you're doing, then you should be fine. But anyway, I'm gonna go pour this out and then we're gonna put fruit in it. Okay, so I'm back. I have my fruit in one hand and the bag. So we're just gonna hold the bag open and place the slices in there like so. And then just do that. Now this isn't what I'm gonna be using them for, but here's that. And now we're just gonna, because it has this space a little bit before the zipper, it is fairly easy to open back up and access whatever food or thing that you have chosen to put in your bag. So there's that. And it did come with a sealer clip, unfortunately, because, well, I've never owned reusable Ziploc bags. I did not know what this piece was for, and I thought it was just a random piece of plastic, so I just ended up throwing it away. But that's okay, because they're fairly easy to seal as well, even without that piece. So, and if you really have difficulty sealing it, and like me, you have lost the sealing plastic piece that is obviously meant for that purpose, you can definitely use a clothespin or some sort of a chip clip or something to do the same thing. So you do not actually need that piece. So anyway, I'm gonna just summarize all the products and what I thought of them in just a little bit. But for right now, I'm gonna go clean up the kitchen and I'll be back. Okay, so that is it for this testing eco-friendly kitchen products video. I'm just gonna go over this stuff before I take us out. So I'm gonna talk about the mats. They are in fact non-stick. Unfortunately, I forgot to film the part where I took the cookies off of the mat, but I can honestly tell you the sprayed side and the non-sprayed side came off just as easily. And I also forgot to mention this handy silicone strap that it comes with to help store the mats. So that's a nice little addition. And they are dishwasher safe. However, for this time that I use them, I hand wash them. And the paper towels, again, not for heavy duty cleaning, but I think they would be good for like little spills and things like that, where you are just wiping up liquid and not something that's dried on, which I didn't realize the stove top had anything on it other than a few visible food particles. And now bowl lids. We're going to talk about those for a second. A lot easier to take off than to put on. And the beeswax, really easy to use once you've... So I went back and read the instructions on the beeswax after I did the video, and you kind of saw... I wanted to know why it just randomly started working. So it turns out you're supposed to activate the wax with your hands somehow, and I just didn't read instructions. And the bags, well, it's a Ziploc bag. It does the job. So, and they're also a lot roomier than just your regular Ziploc bag that is disposable. So that's my verdict on those. And that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you want, you can check out my links down in the description below. The first of which is for my affiliate with Sick Clothing. There's a promo code through them which will get you 15% off site-wide. The promo code is ElGrace15. And the rest of my links are for my website, my podcast, El Grace After Hours, new episodes of that every Wednesday on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much any podcast platform you can think of. And of course, there's my spring store, my music, and last but not least is my social media. Thank you for watching, and above all else, stay fabulous. Bye!